I'm Sarah, and this is our final class in the basics of crochet. I hope that you've enjoyed learning to crochet as much as I've enjoyed sharing it with you. In this class, we will learn the triple crochet stitch, I'll teach you how to read a pattern, and we will make our last coaster. Let's get started! The triple crochet stitch just adds one more step than the double crochet, but it requires a bit more finagling than the other stitches. I'll show you. First, make a base to work into. Chain 10 to 15 stitches and then crochet one full row of whatever stitch you'd like. I chose double crochet this time. So I chained 13, then started in the 4th stitch from my hook and a total of 10 stitches. Now for the turning chain, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. For a single it was 1, a half double 2, a double 3, and for a triple crochet you chain 4 times before you turn. Now, before we go into our first stitch, I said it added one more step, and here it is. You're going to yarn over once, twice before you push your hook through. I'll show you again. Yarn over twice, and then push your hook through the stitch. Now yarn over and pull up a loop, and you're going to finish just like you finished the double crochet. So yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And that is a triple crochet. Pretty cool, huh? Let's do it again. Yarn over twice, push your hook through the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. One more time. Yarn over twice, push your hook through the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so I want you to keep going until you get to the end of the row. And there you have it, one row of triple crochet. It's sort of loosey-goosey and cool looking because it's so tall. So now we turn, chain 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, and yarn over twice before you push the hook through the first stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. 4 chains for a turning chain, 4 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Again, yarn over twice, push hook through stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. All right, so I want you to keep going, get a few rows done, and I'll be back in just a minute. All right. Here is 1 row of double crochet and 3 rows of triple crochet. The rows are very easy to count, as well as taller and looser than anything we've done previously. Because the triple crochet is so loose, when I designed the coaster pattern, I decided to add another stitch to the coaster to give it a bit more structure. But before I show you the pattern, let's learn how to read one. So far, I've been giving you verbal instructions for these coasters, but I made a more official written pattern for the coasters so that you could have an example of what a pattern looks like. And if you're looking at patterns online or in a book, you'll notice that there are certain things always listed before the pattern actually starts. 1, a picture of the finished product. Here is what your lovely coasters will look like. Then it will list the materials that you'll need. For these coasters, we needed approximately 75 yards of worsted weight cotton. Here I totaled up the yardage for all of the coasters, and it was about 75 yards. And worsted is the weight, another word is medium weight. I used Lily's Sugar and Cream Original Cotton. Now, pattern makers will include the total yardage, and they'll include the specific yarn that they used, but they'll also include the weight and most likely a gauge, so that if you wanted to find a different yarn, you could find one that closely matches the one that they used, and that way your product will end up close to the same size and look and feel. Other materials needed: a size H8 hook. Other patterns use other size hooks, and a yarn needle. You will pretty much always need a yarn needle, if only to weave in your ends at the end. Next, they will include the stitches used in the pattern and abbreviations for those stitches. For our coasters, we used a chain stitch, abbreviated to CH. If we're just referring to any stitch, it's ST. A slip stitch becomes SLST. Single crochet is SC, half double crochet is HDC, double crochet is DC, and triple crochet is TC. When you're reading the actual pattern, they won't spell out half double crochet every single time. They'll just write HDC and then the number of stitches. So you'll get familiar with these abbreviations really quick. Most patterns will also include a finished size. The finished size for our coasters is 4 inches by 4 inches, which is also the most common length and width used to determine a gauge. If you're looking at other patterns, they'll say such and such stitches for such and such rows equals 4 inches by 4 inches, or 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters. So now that we know everything we need to know before we get started, let's look at the pattern for the single crochet coaster. This one here. Row 1 of every crochet pattern starts with a foundation chain, but the chain itself does not count as a row. It's just the first full line of stitches. So row 1, chain, CH, 13, then single crochet into the second chain from the hook and each chain to the end. Row 2, chain 1, turn, single crochet in the first stitch and each stitch across. Some patterns, if they want you to use the turning chain as a stitch, then they'll tell you to single crochet into the second stitch and then keep going. Rows 3 through 13. Repeat row 2. That's it. Every row, just chain once, turn, and single crochet across. And after the 13th row, finish off and weave in your ends. Simple as that. Now, I'm going to put up the pattern for the triple crochet coaster while we make it. It's time to make our last coaster. So grab your orange ball of yarn and let's go. You can see the pattern, the full pattern written on the left, and let's follow it. First, we're going to chain 14 stitches. 13, 14. Chain 14. Now we're going to HDC, half double crochet, into the third stitch. 1, 2, 3. Go through the third stitch. Pull up a loop. Pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to continue half double crocheting each stitch across the end. You'll notice at the end of row 1 in parentheses it says 12 HDC. A lot of patterns, to be helpful, will include the number of stitches in that row, so that when you get to the end of the row you can count and make sure that your count matches up with the pattern count. Not everybody does that, but some people do, and it is quite helpful, especially if it's a complicated pattern where the number of stitches changes each row. There we go. All right, we're at the end of our row. 12 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's time for row 2. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn. Triple crochet in the first stitch. Twice. Push the stitch. Through 2, through 2, through 2. And in every stitch across. And at the end of the row, we'll have a total of 12 triple crochets. Let's keep going on row 2. All right, we're at the end of row 2. Now it's time for row 3, which is simply to repeat row 2. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn, triple crochet in the first stitch and each stitch across. Row 4 is also the same as row 2, so let's keep going. Here I have 4 rows done. 1, 2, 3, 4. For row 5, tells us to chain twice. 1, 2, turn, and then half double crochet in the first stitch and each stitch across. Last row, here we go. Ta-da! Last row done. It's time to finish off. Cutting the yarn, pulling through, and then weave in our ends so that we have a finished coaster to add to our collection. I hope that you've enjoyed learning how to triple crochet and making all these coasters. I know that I have, and I'm very much looking forward to using mine in my house. I hope that you will go out and find some patterns of your own to make, and feel free to reference these videos if you ever forget anything. Good luck, good night, and goodbye!